today we'll be solving two activities. One is about the basic operations practice for JavaScript, in which we will talk about how to use variables, how to declare them, and we'll talk about get element by ID, how to use it with buttons. So let's start with the very first activity that we have over here. Create a program that stores the first name, second name, and the age of a person. Output these in a sentence, for example, like this. So what I'm doing over here is I'm using Dreamweaver CC. It's one of the latest version. It's good. There are new features available. The beta version was available a few months back, but recently they have the final version available. If you feel it's good, you can use it. There isn't much difference in the interface, so if you have been using CS3, you can easily implement and use this one as well. It's totally up to you. There are bit advantages. Have a look and see how it goes. So over here what you have is you have the code, you have the split, you have the live, as well. You can directly see what's going on. I prefer split because whatever I do, I can see what's going on. I don't have to open up the browser. You can, if you come here down here, you can see I can preview in Google Chrome as well. Okay, over here there's an option that tells you the error, but it's of no use frankly, because it does not exactly tell you what the error is. And this is a refresh every time we can refresh. So let's have a look. So what I'll do is I'll create variable the first name is equals to, I will get it through a prompt. Okay, a prompt takes a user input and stores it within a container which is known as a variable. Enter the first name. I think so. I wrote the first name. Then I can make another variable as the last, no spaces please, last name is equals to PRO. And this would, I hate that, enter the last name. And then lastly I will take is the age, and I would enter the age. Now all I have to do is I could use document. This is the good part I like about it. It brings up all the methods, the properties that you have within the library, and obviously can help us a bit. Document.write, I would obviously like to write over here is the first name plus, I would like to add a space, plus the last name, plus I would like to add a space, plus I would like to add the age, and obviously I close it. So this is what I have over here. So if I click here, it will ask me to, this is the good part. You don't actually have to press F12 and view it in one of your default browser. You can just click over here and you will get the output. So if I type over here Saem, if I type over here is Tariq, and if I type over here is 4, this is what I get, and this is what it was required. I hope you got it. We can further talk about this in more detail. If I don't want to use document.write, I could do this by get element by ID. Okay, we will discuss that as well. Okay, we can even implement it over here as well. If you would like, I will is create a program that stores the first name and the second name of person in variable, combine and output the first two letters of the first name and the first two letters of their second name. Okay, for this basically I think so I have already solved it, so in order to save time, let's just discuss it. Well, it's pretty easy. Just the same way, you make two variables that will store the first name and the last name. Document.write could be used, and if you have gone through my string manipulation lectures, we have discussed over there is substring and sub-str. The mere difference between substring and sub-str is that your substring will take out, uh, for example, you want to take out SAEM. If you write 02, it will take out SA. I hope you're following me. SA. If I want to extract the next two, I can write is 1 3. Okay. In substring, 1 3 third one is not inclusive. It does not include the third one. STR behaves in a very different manner. How does it work? Basically, if I write a substring, and let's say I write 3 comma 7, this does not mean that I'm going to extract from 3 to 7. What I'm trying to say is, in case of substring, if I use substring 3 7, it will give me a totally different output. Let me discuss this with you. Okay, maybe some of you might have an issue, so I'll create one and let's discuss it. So there we go. Script. Right, I'll declare a variable a is equals to, I will make it as, okay, this, okay, I'll add something else. Is obviously, and what I can do is not worth, okay, document.write, I could say over here is a dot, so you see it tells me sub is basically a subscript, substring, and substring, sub str. So substring means define the start point and end point, and sub str means define the start point and the length that you want to extract from starting from that point. So it's giving you the answer. So if I use substring, I can define is extract me from 1 till 4. There you go. And I have to close one more bracket. Now if I preview this over here, right, I get is AVA. Why am I getting AVA? Because it's saying 0 1. This is 1 2 3. I told you that substring will not include the fourth one. It's not inclusive. Now if I replace this with sub str only, we will see, and we will try to see what the difference is. It gives me AVAS. Why AVAS? Because this is 1 2 3 4. Okay, so it's, and if I write over here, for example, 1 comma 7, or let me write over here is not starting from 1, starting from 3 3 7. See what will happen now. It gives me a script. Why a script? Let's see. 0 1 2 3. So it starts from here. Let's start counting. So it means that 3 is now considered as an index 0. It will start counting from here. It will not start counting from the very beginning. Substring will always consider the very first character of the string as 0. But in a sub-str, you can define from where you want to start the index to begin. So 1, there you go, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. It gives you a script. So hopefully you did get the difference between substring and str. Practice it on your own. You will have more idea of what I'm talking about. So in this particular case, we have is this. We have document.write first name substring 02 because I want the first initial, and this is very interesting. And this is last name dot substring -2. If I write substring -2, it will give me the last two characters. So here you go. All I can do is I can type my name over here, and I can type the last name. There you go. So it gives me SAIQ, the first two initials and the last two initials that I have typed in. Something important, and please try to um, remember this. Okay, then we have is write a script that will display the word hi there when you click on the button show me, and hides it when you click. Let's have a look at this one as well. Pretty, um, that's how it works. You click on this, which shows you. You click on, it doesn't know. Let's have a look how it works. Works on the phenomenon of get element by ID. What we did was we made a form. Inside the form, we made two buttons. Okay. We gave them the ID show me and hide me. We gave them particular ID. Keep that in mind. On click, we are calling two different functions, display and hide. If you look at the display function, it's saying get element by ID me, and me is right over here. Okay. So whatever is over here will be displayed here at this particular part. And if I wanted this to be really prominent, I can use H1, and I could close this with H1 so that I can see that it's really prominent. I could refresh, so show me and hide me. Okay, so documented get element by ID me dot inner HTML. We've talked about inner HTML. It means that within the HTML tags, they should be equal to this, and function hide makes it equal to null value. So as soon as you click on this, it shows you this, and as soon as you click on this, it shows you nothing. Okay, that's the concept. Next we have is create two buttons that will initially let the user enter the numbers. Later the second number, named as multiply the prompt values, will display the result. So this is what we are talking about. We enter numbers 23 and 2, and when I click on this, it will display you the output as 46. Again, for this particular thing, we have to do is we make two buttons. Always remember they should be within the form. Make sure you don't have multiple forms tags within here. And on click, we are talking about two different functions. One function is enter. This function enter will obviously, I will always prefer you indenting this. It's a really professional way to indent so that you can have a difference. So this function will take two variables, one prompt, second prompt, and will store it in a third variable C. You can declare it as variable C is equal to that. Even if you don't do it, it's fine. So why am I multiplying by 1? The reason being is we talked about JavaScripting. The JavaScripting actually takes care of the data types on its own. For example, if we say variable a is equals to true, it knows it's Boolean logic. If I say variable a is equals to true, which is in double quotes or quotation marks, it will consider it as a string. If I write variable a is equals to 1, it knows it's a number, and double quotes, it will be a string. If I write a date, it will know it's a date. If I write time, it will know it's time. So it's up to us. We have to define the data types in case of JavaScripting. And function multiply, since this is what was the requirement, will basically simply give an alert, will give an output of what C actually was. Try doing this with get document element by ID. Okay, get element by ID. Try doing this with this as well and see whether it works or not. Surely it should definitely work. Then we have is write a script that will replace an image by some text. Here we go. If I click on this, it will replace it with a text. So how is it working? Again, form, and within the form we have is on click of the button, we have a button, and on click of a button we will have a function replace. And what replace basically is doing is it's using the get element by ID me is basically your paragraph tag, and within the paragraph tag you have the source of the image. Now the tricky part over here is that you cannot define an ID in an image. It will not work. So you have to give a paragraph or heading or something else related to text an ID, and you can basically encapsulate it within this. So if the paragraph is displayed, the image is displayed. If the paragraph is not displayed, the image is not displayed. So if I say document get element by ID me, which is this one, replace this thing with the text, it will obviously initially when the image is being displayed, which is right now this state, when I click on this, it displays the text. What happens is this thing or this entire thing gets replaced by some text, right? These were your activities for basic operation. We'll come to the second part, in which topic is create an array. Okay, create an array that stores the name of 10 different films. Output each of these films in turn on a web page. Each film should be in a new row. Just take a second. I have not yet created one, so I'll create one for you. So all we have to do is, in this particular case, we have to basically declare a new array. I'll name it as my array is equals to, I will use there are different ways you can define an array, new array or something like that. Defining the square parentheses is one of the best feature that I prefer always, because it considers as a database. So the question says we have to 10 I can't type 10 films. I'll just write back to the few one of the best movie that I had ever watched. Oz, and we can type over here is watch this movie. It's just a really nice movie. It's for kids. Very, very nice movie. And then you have is let's just type Terminator. Not a good combination, but fine. So here you go. All we have to do is now we could display this by document dot write, and we could write over here is my array, and within this I could write over here simply 0. Okay, and then I could do the same thing right, 1 2 3 4. So all I have to do is just change this to 1 2 and 3, right? And so we get this. If I want this to come to the next line, all I have to do is just use the br tag. So this is how we can use arrays to display some information. Okay. Next, what we have is create a web page that has the person's age stored in variables using an if statement, output a different message. Although this is not related to any array sort of question, but still let's discuss it. Okay. Here we go. So very simple thing. We declare a variable if the age is greater than 12 and person sign less than 19. This statement will be true. Otherwise, we can give another statement. So here we go. If I refresh this particular thing, let me refresh. I could write over here is. Let's solve this over here. Okay, so instead of this, mistakenly I had typed this. Here you go. What did I do? I did type this. Okay. If I look at this one, it says simply linting operation timeout. It doesn't help us much. So here you go. You have to read this and go through this on your own. So here you go. If I click on this now, okay, let me refresh it. It says she is a teenager because 16, and if I type over here is 10, it says she's not a teenager. Obviously, I could even do is I could instead of this I could use is a prompt, and I could simply say enter the age. So if I refresh this, I can enter over here is 6:15, and I get the output. Okay, we could even do this. So simple if command, if this statement is true, okay, it'll display this, else you can basically display this particular thing. So then we have is change the web page. So you've created it this time to a switch statement. Very interesting. How can we use switch instead of if? You should have a good idea about it, and this is the way actually I've done it. That's how your switch statement basically works. I declare variable a. I use a prompt to store the value inside it. The switch statement basically starts this way. Okay, use switch. Okay, and then switch. What do you want to switch to? Basically, you have to write true. You can even leave it empty. Case. In my case, I can define is my condition, just like an if. And if this condition is true, this will happen, break. Otherwise, I can define another case, and in that I have this condition and that statement. So this is the way basically it works. So if I enter the age 12, it tells me it's not teenager, and if I enter over here is 14, it says it's a teenager. So that's how your switch basically works. So basically we will be using the true over here. If the reason we have to use true is if this was a normal case where I had simply strings or other things, such as the first case should display a string like the subjects I love IT, and the second is another string, then I could simply use is in the switch I could type over here the name of the variable. The reason I've used true over here is because as soon as I execute this, and if I write over here is 14, it will give me it's a teenager. Why? Because it will compare it. It will truly compare it. It will make sure that this statement is true, truly compared. Frankly, that's how we say. Let's try by using false, and see what we will get. Now, in case of false, if I enter over here 14, which should be a teenager, it will not give a teenager. It will say it's not a teenager, although it's a teenager. And if I type over here is 23, it says a teenager, which is wrong. So false basically tries to fetch the opposite, and true tries to fetch according to what the criteria is all about. Okay, try the switch statement with different cases. It's an important thing. Maybe the examiner might ask you to do the same way I did using the switch statement. Okay, lastly what I have is this. Create a web page that has series of colors stored in an array. Use a loop to go through each element in an array and output it on a new line on the web page. So what we have done over here is this is the one I have created. Okay, you can see the output that I have over here. Okay, I'll refresh it again. I get. So let's see what we've done. We declared a variable myArray, and this is what we have: yellow, dark yellow, light yellow. We declared another variable that could be used as a counter. You could name it as a is equals to 0 or x is equal to 0, usually the way I explain the for loop. Remember the for loop when we did variable a is equals to 0 and we did the for loop. So I could name it counter to explain it in a much better way. So if the counter is 0, if I initialize with 0, and I want to count till what? This is important because I don't know, because every time maybe my arrays will have different number of strings within them, different elements, I would rather say. So counter, if the counter is less than my array, okay, dot length, this means it will calculate, my array dot length will calculate 1 2 3 4, it will tell me, sorry, 1 2 3, it will count the number of elements do I have within my array. So if the counter is less than equal to 4, 3, counter plus 1. So document.write my array, first of all 0 will appear. So if 0 will appear, my array 0 is yellow. The loop will run again. It will see that counter is 1 because 1 has been added to it. You can see over here 0 plus 1 is 1. So 1 comes here, it comes, the counter is equals to 1. Okay, so sorry, it comes over here, not over here, initializing over. Then it will say 1 is less than 3. Again it goes my array 1. In case of my array 1 means 0 1 dark yellow, then it will display light yellow when counter becomes 2. So this is how you could use loops to display the output of your existing array that you've defined. Okay, so basically this is how you work with arrays. We will continue further with more advanced activity regarding this. So till now, these are all the activities that we've done. We will have lots of more to come, probably 15 to 20 more, so that your A-level IT examination point of view could be clear. So till then, goodbye.